So I think I am going to draw a pig as a mermaid with some pretty scales in the back. That was actually inspired by this picture right here. This is in the book How to Draw Patterns, which I love. It's so silly, and I like to find silly things to draw. And I love drawing pigs, so let's see what it turns out like. I wish I was more normal sometimes, but at the same time, I don't because I love being weird. Sometimes I just like being really weird, and I am totally okay with that. So I think she should have like a little bikini top, or else she's gonna look naked. Okay. Maybe. It's really silly. That's okay. So, colors. What should I color her? I might try this color. Maybe this color together. Yeah, that's okay. And then as for her skin, I still like a cute little pink pig. So yeah, I'm gonna use this for her skin. I just have so much fun drawing like a kid. I always tell people that my art style is like a child drew it. And that's because me as a kid did draw these things. But believe it or not, right now, the way I draw is already a lot better than when I was a kid. I would copy my favorite cartoons, like I would draw my favorite cartoons. That included, well, Archie comics were a huge influence on me. Like I read them nonstop. Every time I went to the grocery store, I got a new comic book, one of those digests. Back in the day, they were only like $1.99, $2.99, $3.99. Nowadays, I see they're like $9.99 or maybe even more. So they've gone up in price since I was a kid. But I have literally boxes and boxes of them stored away at my parents' house because that's how many Archie comics I have read. Ugh, bleeding. I used the black pen that I don't normally use because I was too lazy to get up to get my normal pen. That's my fault. That's okay. We're gonna roll with it. So these are nifty. They're snifty pastel geosticks, vibrant tempera paint. So I really like them. They're actually very easy to color with. Very fun to play with. Yeah. medicine. Use some watercolor. Maybe some shimmery blues. Maybe this metallic Yale blue. Okay. Which is this side, the fifth one. I feel like I should have put some music in the back or something. Not feeling particularly chatty today. I did not sleep very well last night. I co-sleep with my 4-year-old, and he's always kicking me. Luckily, he's turning 5 in the less than a month now. And one of the things we have been talking to him about becoming 5 is that you're going to sleep in your own bed. So I am looking forward to not getting kicked every night. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is use my acrylic paint markers. Where did I put them? Did I not? Oh, here they are. I'm going to use my favorite shuttle art acrylic paint markers, and I'm going to draw a pretty background in there. Check the colors. You know, I might do a green and yellow spread. Let's try that out. Let's try green. Screen. I've not had a chance to sit down and really take time to draw for myself in a little bit. Life got really busy. I had to take my son to the ER the other night. That was scary. But luckily, he's okay now. Now, my biggest challenge is just getting him to take his medicine. And you know what's so funny is a spoonful of sugar really does work really, really well. I never got to try that as a kid. I don't think I ever had a crazy resistance to taking medicine the way my 7-year-old does, but I've been mixing his medicine with apple juice, which he never gets, but he still doesn't think it's sweet enough. So I have to add a spoonful of sugar into his cup, and it works like magic. It's just a 1 week special. I just love these acrylic markers. They make everything so easy and fun, and they're super fun to draw with. I just really love how smooth it was on the paper. And of course, I'm using my favorite paper, which is the Midori. This is a B6 size Midori notebook. I am so faithful to Midori. I just love everything. I use Traveler's notebooks, Midori notebooks. They are my absolute favorite. I'm going to color these in. This is so meditative to just be coloring patterns. My goal is to do this every single day, to find a little pocket of time for myself, to play every day. And for me, drawing like this is very, very fulfilling. I wonder if there are other people who draw pigs as mermaids. I always seem to draw from my imagination as opposed to what I see in front of me. I know a lot of people like to draw what's in front of them, or maybe a snapshot from their day. I wonder if there are other people like me who honestly pulls things out of their brains and say, yeah, that's the thing. Not the tree outside, not the flower, not the birds. But let's imagine a peg as a mermaid swimming in a lot of fish scales. I used to think I was really weird as a kid. I never seemed to fit in. And now as I have gotten older and understand that fitting in, it's not great. It's fine to fit into a certain degree, but not to a point where you suppress your true self, because your true self is the key to unlocking happiness in this life. And oh, if only I knew when I was a kid that it would all be okay if I didn't fit in. I'm still working on it though. I just think that being yourself is so important. And it should come easily, but it doesn't always. After we've been programmed from since we were little about what we should think and how we should be. And if you were lucky enough, you got parents who would nurture your true self. But most of the time, even parents don't realize what they're doing because they are usually well intentioned. And the way they bring you up, tell you, like, you need to do this, this, and this in order to be, I don't know, stable in life. And I love my parents so much. But they were never the type that told me I could do anything. And that's okay. I understand where they came from and why they had the mentality that they had. And I never hold anything against them. I read somewhere, I think it was like on Threads, somebody said, like, depending on the age you have your children, what, like, the purpose of them were when they came into their life. And I had my kids when I was 30 and 32. And I think I had read that if they come into your life at that age, it means that you are going to break the generational patterns. Like, those kids are here to help you break your family's patterns. And I really feel like it's been true because the way that I have been raising them is nothing like the way I was raised. Not to dock the way that I was raised. I am very thankful for the childhood that I did have. Of course, it wasn't perfect. Nobody childhood is perfect, I don't think. But I just have come to this realization that play is so important as a child in your childhood, but also in adulthood, which is why I do this, which is why I've chosen to do this. And I think a lot of adults do realize that play is important. Of course, they want to have fun when they're not working. And so many times we'll turn on Netflix, we'll meet up with friends, we'll do fun things like what normal people do. I don't know. Go bowling, go to a sports game, go play pickleball. And I think that is also wonderful. I think we need more play in our lives. But I do know there are people who have a hard time allowing themselves to get to a place where they feel safe to do so. Maybe their nervous system isn't as regulated to accept that it's okay to take a break. The hustle and productivity culture is really intense. And if it doesn't feel like you're doing something productive, you may have a hard time letting go and really allowing yourself to say, it's okay. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine. You can take some time, do something that's not going to be on your to-do list just for the sake of having fun. But I know how hard it can be because I was there once. It took a lot of years of training my brain to let go of the outcome and not feel like I'm behind, to accept that I am on my own journey in life. That there's nothing wrong with the path that I am taking. All right, I'm having a hard time thinking of what to say because this is so fun. white. Use the fine tip marker. I'm going to draw some sparkles. This is the best white. I don't think there's another one. Let me try the other one. Not perfect, but that's okay. I think also one of the things people have a hard time with just doodling and drawing in their art journal is wanting things to look perfect. And a big part of having an art journal is releasing that need to be perfect. Knowing that if I do make a mistake, I can cover it up. Like, this is my journal. I can do whatever I want with it. It's not really for show. I mean, I know I'm showing it here, but whatever I show is going to be what I show. I'm not going to modify it, edit it to make it perfect. I really enjoy the process of drawing and doodling, and I know many other people enjoy the process of painting or collaging and doing lots of mixed media, and that's something I do want to get more into. I'm thinking of because I draw a lot of these artwork on my iPad, I might print out a black and white version of it and then maybe try to play around with other mediums and see what I can create. I think that would be really fun to explore. I also was into acrylic paints back in the fall, and I got really into it and made some pretty cool spreads. I used a much larger journal because I wanted more space to paint. But I think a really good thing to do with a smaller size notebook, like this is a B6 size. It's like the size of my hand. And one really good thing is a smaller canvas. It's smaller space to fill, so you don't feel like you have a lot of empty space looking back at you. And that can be really good for feeling less intimidated to get started. I'm going to use the silver pen and see if it shows. Yeah, that shows up better on the yellow and light green. How do people spend their weekends? This is how I spend my weekends. It's so hard for me to find spare time. I've been meaning to come here to my desk and do this every day. But something always comes up, like an ER visit. It's crazy. For my son, I called the pediatrician. I went to walk-in care. They're like, we can't do anything. We went to urgent care. They're like, we can't do anything. He went to ER, and finally somebody was able to help him. And I just think life will just keep lifing. And all that really matters is how I perceive it and how I react and how I feel in the moment. And the things that I think are all completely controlled by me. So having that in the back of my head has been really, really helpful. And just allowing me to be more present. One of the great things about the fact that we did go to the ER, it was just me and my son. We had some memorable moments together. We were both he was in a state of hysteria. He was crying, poor baby. And I really had to show up for him. But at the same time, I was also having a hard time, and he could see that. And he was so sweet. He was lying down on the gurney in our little curtained off area in the emergency room, And it was like late at night, and I laid my head down on the gurney next to him as he was there lying down. And he looked at me. He's like, I'm not really tired. You can sleep here, and I'll lie down on the chair, or I'll sit on the chair. In that moment, I just thought, I'm so blessed, so lucky to have such a sweet, sweet baby who was even thinking about me in his time of pain. And so there are moments in life where you just have to think about the blessings that do come in, even in the hard moments. Oh, gosh, he is so sweet. I tell him all the time how sweet he is and how much I adore him. All right, so here is my mermaid pig. It's not the greatest piece of artwork, but that was really fun. And I hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully, I'll get to do more soon.